Hello and welcome to Big Orbit Games unboxing video for the latest Magic the Gathering product, the Ultimate Sacrifice event deck for the Battle for Zendikar set. So this is a pre-made 60 card deck. My name is Simon, by the way, and I'll be taking you through the contents of this. So I'm just going to open it up, just show you what's inside and what you get in here. This product is primarily aimed at players who want to start playing things like Friday Night Magic, for example, which we run in store as well, but you don't have access to, a huge card pool or the latest deck, so you want something you can play with and not do too badly with, hopefully. Oh, helps if I open it the right way. And these event decks are exactly, it's the perfect product basically to buy if you are just starting out and want to start playing more things like F&M. So you get a nice box in there, it's got a nice foily effect to it, and inside is where you find the deck and product. So you get a pre-made 60 card deck, so all the event decks are the same, and you get 15 card sideboard, which is useful because between games within a match you can sideboard cards in and out of your deck to help you against other certain opponents. You also get a spin down life counter in here. So the number 20 is the set symbol for Battle for Zendikar, and then it spins down the numbers so you can keep track of your life. Also useful for rolling to figure out who's going first or second. So inside you get a few things. So you've got the deck itself and then the sideboard separately in its own pack. You get a divider as well, so you can use that to keep your deck separate from your sideboard and tokens. You also get a quick rules reference, so if you're new to playing, you can use this to put down next to you, just to remind you, this explains very basic bits about casting spells and land, and on the other side it explains the turn order and how the turns work, and how to win by beating your opponent. So, can be useful for you if you just need a little bit of a visual aid to help you with playing. You also get in here this fold out. So in this, it explains all about the deck you've just bought, the event deck. So it shows you the makeup of the deck, so you get 26 creatures, 10 other spells, so sorceries, instants, etc. You also get the lands and what's in the sideboard, and as it says there, sideboard is a group of additional cards you can use to modify your deck after your first game against an opponent. Then it explains how to play the deck, or how Wizards feel is the best way to play the deck. And then on the other side you also get an explanation of rough explanation of how tournaments and events work and what the different formats are, because Magic is played in different formats. So this deck is designed to be played in what they call Standard, which is all the latest sets for the year, effectively. And this deck will be available to be played in Standard for a little while to go yet. There are other formats though, things like Modern, which is a constructed format, and Legacy, and then you have what are called limited formats, things like pre-release, draft and sealed. So, but if you have any questions, go pop to your local store and ask, or you can ask us. We're more than happy to answer any questions about that. So let's actually have a look. I'm going to put this down here. Let's actually have a look at what you get in the deck and what cards you have. So to start off with, the event deck has two mythic rare cards in there. Now this is the first for any constructed event deck that Magic Wizards of the Coast have made. So this is quite cool that they're giving you some very good cards to start with. So I'm just going to break that in half, make it easier to hold. So first of all, you get Warden of the First Tree. So even though there's no white in the deck, those hybrid mana costs means you can use white or black, and this is a black-green deck. So you do have access to the mana you need to play to pump him up. So he starts as a little 1/1 for 1 mana, and then each turn, or even in the same one if you have access to the mana, you can pay these to basically grow him in power, but you do have to do them sequentially. So basically he's a little guy you play early, that gets bigger. Then we have Grim Horospex, which is another rare. This one from the Khan set, so this isn't from Battle for Zendikar. Not all the cards are. Some of them are from other sets. He's got the morph ability, so he gets played face. If you want to, you can play him for face down as a 2/2 creature for 3 mana. So he'll come into play face down. And then for his morph cost, which is 1 black, you can flip him face up. And he has a simple ability of whenever another non-token creature you control dies, draw a card. So nice bit of draw there. Smothering Abomination, another rare in here as well. It's devoid, so it counts as colourless. So even though it's got 2 black in the casting cost, which would normally make it a black spell, it's actually devoid, so it has no colour. It's flying. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature, so you have to do this. And whenever you sacrifice a creature, you draw a card. So long as you can keep creatures coming out and keep them in play, then you get to keep drawing cards. Then we have the Whisperwood Elemental, another mythic rare, this time from Fate Reforged. You can tell that by the set symbol. At the beginning of your end step, manifest the top card of your library, so it goes face down into play as a 2/2 creature, and it can be flipped face up if it's a creature for its mana cost. Also, you can sacrifice it, the Whisperwood Elemental that is, until end of turn, face up non-token creatures you control gain whenever this creature dies, manifest the top card of your library. So this plays into things like the Smothering Abomination and the Grim Horror specs. So you're getting cards into play using this manifest ability, which allow you to sacrifice them to draw even more cards. We have a Brood Butcher as the other rare. It's another devoid creature. When it enters play, it puts a 1/1 colourless Eldrazi Scion creature token into play, and that Scion token has the ability sacrifice it to add 1 colourless mana to your mana pool. And he also has another sacrifice ability. You can pay 2, which is a black and a green, to sacrifice a creature to make target creature get -2/-2 till end of turn. So it could be useful for removing your opponents. We also have Tasigur the Golden Fang. So, with all this sacrifice and draw and death, you could end up tuning through a lot of your deck quickly and dumping a lot of it into the graveyard. This is where someone like Tasigur comes in. So he's normally 6 mana for a 4/5, but you can do his Delve ability. So you can exile a card from your graveyard, so remove the card from the game, for each of his colourless mana costs to reduce it. So you can exile 5 cards and only have to pay 1 black to play him, which is fairly good. And then for 2 and then 2 green in this instance for this deck, but it could be blue if you put that in there. Put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard, then return a non-land card of an opponent's choice from your graveyard to your hand. So the idea here is that you delve away the cards that you don't really want, use the ability, and then hopefully your opponent's choice for a non-land card they have to pick will be one card that you really, really want them to pick, because that'll be all that's left. We have a Hangerback Walker. This is from Magic Origins, XX00. So this enters the battlefield with X+1 counters on it, and when it dies, put a 1/1 colourless Thopter token into play with flying on the battlefield for each 1/1 counter that was on him. You can also pay 1 and tap him to put another 1/1 counter on him. So the way the XX works, they have to be equal. So say you wanted to put 2 1/1 counters on him when you play him, that'd have to be 2/2. So it will cost you 4. So think of it as however much you want him to come into play for, you have to pay double for it. But not only do you get a creature, so if you put 4 into each, which is 8 mana, not only would you get 4/4, when he dies you also get 4 Thopters. So very good. And again, more little creatures to sacrifice. Another rare from Magic Origins, Evolutionary Leap. This is an enchantment. So you can pay a green and sacrifice a creature to reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature. Put that card into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So useful for getting more draw. Another rare, this time from Dragons of Tarkir. Use 3 mana enchantment. Pay 2 to exile 1 or more creature cards from your graveyard to put an XX black zombie horror token into play tapped, where X is twice the number of cards exiled this way. So if you exiled 3 creature cards from your graveyard, you would get a 6/6 zombie token into play. It does enter tapped, but as long as you play this card in your turn, you can use the ability at instant speed, so you can do the ability at the end of your opponent's turn. So we get Llanowar Wastes, another rare from Magic Origin. So this allows you, it's what they sort of like they call mana fixing. It allows you to have access to colours of mana through other means than just the basic lands. So it taps and adds one colourless to your mana pool, or you can tap it to add a black or a green to your mana pool, however it deals a damage to you for doing this. But it is useful in a pinch if you need to get access to that extra black or green mana. We have a Blister Pod, so this has got the Devoid mechanic, so even though it's a 1 green to play it, it is sadly, it does technically count as colourless, not sadly in this deck. But when it dies, put a 1/1 colourless Eldrazi Scion. So it's a 1/1 creature, and then when it dies, it makes another 1/1 creature. Again, works with the sacrifice. You can see a theme here. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4 Blister Pods in there. Fantastic. We have a Sultai Emissary. When he dies, manifest the top card of your library. Again, a 2 mana for a 1/1 that makes effectively 2 creatures, and that manifest is a 2/2 as well. So we get 2 of those in there. Zulaport Cutthroat. When he or another creature you control dies, each opponent loses a life and you gain a life. So that's useful if you are sort of chewing through your own creatures, sacrificing them, killing them off. You're going to damage your opponent and gain life at the same time. 2 of those in there. We have a Rot Shambler. Whenever another creature you control dies, put a 1/1 creature on Rot Shambler. Again, working into the sacrifice aspect of this deck. You sacrifice them, get to draw cards, and Rot Shambler gets bigger, so you can present a nice big threat to your opponent. And we get 4 of those in there. Then Tuco Husk. This is a reprint of an old card. Sacrifice a creature, and he gets +2/+2 until end of turn. So this can be useful if you don't have your bigger sacrifice outlets, as they call them. This can help you enable things like the Rot Shambler and the Zulaport Cutthroat by giving you a way to sacrifice creatures, and at the same time it makes him more powerful. We're on to the Catacomb Sifter. Pick up the rest of the deck now. So it's a devoid creature, and when he enters the battlefield, put a Scion into play, and whenever another creature you control dies, scry 1. This is where you get to look at the top card of your library, 1 in this instance, and you can either put it on the top or the bottom, and you get 4 of those in there. Eyeless Watcher. When it enters the battlefield, put 2 1/1 Scions into play. We have Blown Splinters. So this is a sorcery for 1 black mana. As additional cost to cast it, however, you have to sacrifice a creature, but in return, destroy target creature. So useful for removing your opponent's creatures. Vampiric Rites. So it's an enchantment. Pay 2 to sack a creature and you gain 1 life and draw a card. Useful if you're feeling a little bit behind and you want to get that extra draw so you can hit something nice and big. Murderous Cut. 4 and a black for an instant destroy target creature, but like Tasiga, it has the delve, so those creatures you're sacrificing become useful because you can delve them away to play something like Murderous Cut and kill off your opponent's creature. So you have 2 of those in there. An Evolving Wilds. So this is a basic land that, it's not a basic land, sorry, but it's a non-basic land that gets printed in just about every set. It's nice and simple. Put it into play, tap it and sacrifice it. Search your library for a basic land and put it onto the battlefield tap. So what this allows you to do is go and search for a mountain, a swamp or a forest that you need. So Evolving Wilds are useful. You get 4 of those. We have the Jungle Hollow. This enters tapped, but when it does you gain a life, and then when it untaps your next turn, you can tap it to add black or green. So again, it gives you access to 2 colours, however it does take a turn for it to come online. You also have Rogue's Passage. Pay 1, tap to add 1 mana to your mana pool, but it also has pay 4 tap, and target creature can't be blocked this turn. So if you have pumped up a Zulaport or a Rot Shambler into something nice and big and beefy, but your opponent's got a bit of a defensive wall, pay 4, tap this, they can't be blocked this turn. Very nice. And then you also get basic swamps and basic forests in there, which you will always need. So you can see the general gist of the deck is about playing these creatures which are sacrifice outlets, which is useful. They give you abilities for sacrificing, and other cards get more powerful as a result of it. And then we have the sideboards. So So in the sideboard here, first off we have Duress, which is a 1 black sorcery. Target opponent reveals their hand, choose a non-creature, non-land card from it, and that player discards that card. So this is just what they call hand disruption, useful to sort of like hopefully pull out some key cards from your opponent's hand. We also have Caustic Caterpillar for 1 green. 2 in the sacrifice him to destroy target artifact or enchantment, so useful if your opponent is playing a lot of artifacts or enchantments and you want to try and get rid of them. We get 3 of those in there. Sorry, 2 more Duresses, sorry, slightly mixed order, so you get 3. We get 4 Jaddi Offshoot, so this is a 1 mana defender with landfall. When a land enters the battlefield under your control, gain a life. Nice and simple. Good for stalling out your opponent and keeping your life up. So if your opponent's playing an aggressive deck, those are useful. We also have 3 Cranial Archives. Oh, sorry, camera focus. So it's a 2 mana artifact, pay 2 and exile it, and then target player shuffles their graveyard into the library, draw a card. This is useful if you're finding that your games are going long. You can use Cranial Archive to get all the sacrificed creatures and stuff back into your deck. If you feel you are sort of like on a, if you're starting to run out of cards in deck and you're running out of time, Cranial Archive buys you some. And then simply Ultimate Price, which is a good solid removal, destroy target monocoloured creature. So remember, you can't hit the multicoloured with this, but you can destroy any mono, and you get 2 of those. So the sideboard choices, really it's up to you what card you take in and out of your deck against each opponent. It's semi-obvious which ones are useful against which scenario, and then you just need to pick which ones you want to take out of the deck in placement of them. So there we go. That is all the cards in the Ultimate Sacrifice event deck. If you're a new player and you are looking for something to jump into on standard FNMs, this is perfect. You get such a good deck in here. With a few boosters, maybe, you can expand the deck and sort of like, make it, work that extra little bit better without too much work. So there's lots of options for this going forward. It's good just to play straight out the box, which is what it's made for. I think this is a fantastic event deck, better than any of the ones Wizards have made previously. So if you were looking at buying this, I do highly recommend getting this event deck. It is very much worth its weight. So there we go. So remember, everything you've seen here today can be bought and sold on our website, bigorbitcards.co.uk. I hope you've enjoyed watching. If you have any comments or questions, anything you'd like to ask, just leave them below in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe, check out our other Magic the Gathering videos, and I hope you've enjoyed watching. See you next time. Bye.